Right, I'm live. I hope. Hey up, it's Steve from Old Yorkshire Geek. I'm live. I'm using StreamYards today. I haven't done this for a long time, and I think I've forgotten how to use the damn thing. I just thought I'd try it for a change. But we'll see how we go on. I've got a few news stories I've picked out. So anyway, so while we're here, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, join me in the live chat if anybody's watching. Hit the notification bell, all that stuff. If you get any noise in the background, I've got the dryer going. I've done some washing, I've got the dryer going. I know I should wait till it's finished to do this, but I never know how long it's going to take. Sometimes it's quite quick, sometimes it takes forever. So just put up with it. What else? I'm also on Rumble, but not at the moment. Rumble's been really slow at uploading my YouTube videos the last couple of days. I'd say it's a couple of days behind. I've been tempted to just upload the videos manually, but never mind. But I'm also on Anchor.fm, Spotify, and Amazon Music Podcasts and Google Podcasts. I'm doing all this from memory now. I usually have it on the little, where is it? It's usually here, isn't it? My little list of where I am. And Google Podcasts. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links in the description, as are links for my 2 books, which are on Amazon. Kindle or paperback, Mercury Rapids, UFO, sci-fi, light-hearted adventure, and Silent Predator, a novella, less than 100 pages, a horror story. Horror-ish, I suppose you could put it. Right, so let's get on with this news, shall we? As usual, links for all these will be in the description. They're not at the moment because I haven't got round to that bit yet, but they will be in the description. And right, we'll see how we go. Right, I hope I'm going to do this right. Where are we? Hang on. No. There we go. Oh, crikey. See, I tell you, I'm not very good at this. I'm not very good at this at all. By the way, let's just refresh this page and see if I am live. Yes, I am. Right, okay. Yeah, right. Okay, I just wanted to check that and make sure it were going. And it is. Right. Crikey. Anyway, so where are we? There we go. Liam Neeson reveals why he isn't pleased. So you can see all my bloody stuff up there, can't you? Tell you. They should have a way to just get the window. Is there a way? I don't know. But anyway, you can see all me what are they called? Bookmarks. Right. Liam Neeson reveals why he isn't pleased with the amount of Star Wars spin-offs. Oh, by the way, I've got a banner, haven't I? Let's do snazzy stuff. There we go. That Old Yorkshire Geek News Roundup. I don't know. I'm playing with things. I don't understand it. And there's music as well, isn't there, somewhere? Where have I seen it? There's a music button. If I hide that. Is it in brand? Oh, you could do the famous feeding the ducks music that Gary likes on Friday Night Tights. But there's other stuff as well. But I'll not bother. Right, where were we? Liam Neeson reveals why he isn't pleased with the amount of Star Wars spin-offs. The Qui-Gon Jinn actor, can you read that? Is it going to make it a bit bigger? There we go. The Qui-Gon Jinn actor opened up about whether he's interested in a spin-off in the Galactic film franchise. This is on the Huffington Post, but it seems to be everywhere. If you just type in sci-fi news, it'll find it. Liam Neeson said he isn't interested in his own Star Wars universe spin-off following a brief appearance in last year's Obi-Wan Kenobi miniseries. Neeson, who starred as Qui-Gon Jinn in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, returned to play his Jedi character in the hit Disney Plus series. The actor, in an appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, never heard of it, revealed that he isn't pleased with the direction of the franchise. There's so many spin-offs of Star Wars, Neeson said. It's diluting it to me, and it's taking away the mystery and the magic in a weird way. It was nice to do the little bit with Obi-Wan Kenobi actor Ewan McGregor after 24 years, and that was cool. I loved it. That's it. Is it going to show it? Oh, there's a little clip there, which we'll play. Neeson, in addition to his Obi-Wan Kenobi appearance, voiced Qui-Gon Jinn in an episode of the Star Wars series Tales of the Jedi last year. Neeson previously said he'd only return to play Qui-Gon Jinn if it was for a film. Bit snobby. But the actor told the Hollywood Reporter last year that he returned to the role in Obi-Wan Kenobi because he didn't want anyone else playing the character and he wanted to show his respect to Star Wars creator George Lucas. Neeson, we'll watch that in a minute. I don't know how long it goes on for. Hang on, I'll press play. 4 minutes. No, we will not watch all that. Neeson has typically been frank about his feelings toward the franchise. The actor told Cohen in 2018 that he enjoyed The Last Jedi, but wasn't a fan of the film's duration. Bloody awful. I thought it was half an hour too long. Is that wrong to say? He asked. No, it was like 2.5 hours too long. So, yes, it is wrong to say that because you're being overgenerous. It was endless, but it's Hollywood with all its bells and whistles, which is fantastic. So he's being diplomatic. The production value is amazing. Yeah, it looked nice, but it was just stretched a little bit too long, a little bit. Oh, that's it. So there we go. Yeah, so we see. Let's get rid of that. We see him there. This fella here, you see him there. He asks Liam Neeson about returning to the role. By the way, I hope that's working. But he says no. There we go. So Liam Neeson, a scholar and a gentleman, getting it right because it is. Although I do like some of the Star Wars series. Didn't like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Didn't like Boba Fett. The Mandalorian's okay. I quite enjoy the Mandalorian. I liked Andor, but nobody watched it because nobody'd ever heard of Andor because people actually didn't really watch Rogue One, even though it made over $1 billion. You ask somebody about Rogue One, and they don't know what you're talking about. Oh, pardon me, burping. We're off. We're off to the races. So yeah, so good for Liam. I think he wants to go and do comedy now, doesn't he? Just like in Life's Too Short. He wants to do improvisational comedy. Where he says he got full-blown AIDS. Keep it light, Liam. Right, so there you go. So Qui-Gon Jinn, not Qui-Gon Jinn, Liam Neeson says they are diluting the brand and taking away the magic and the mystery, which is true. I mean, let's wait 3 years between films, but make the films good and make them worth waiting for, which they used to be like that, didn't they? But not anymore. Right, let's move on. What shall we do next? That was a Star Wars one. Shall we stick with Star Wars, or shall we split them up? We'll move on. We'll just go back to Star Wars in a minute. Marvel, staying with Disney because everything's Disney, isn't it? Anyway, Marvel Studios' weakness on full display. This is from Bounding into Comics. So as I always say, could be a little bit spicy. Company shifts the Marvel summer release date to November. I can't see if my fat head. And there's Brie Larson as Carol Danvers. They actually mentioned this on Friday Night Tights last night and pointed something out about the poster, which was highly amusing. I don't know who pointed it out. It was probably Chrissy Mayer. She probably noticed because she's like that, isn't she? Right, Marvel Studios' box office grosses are in decline while their production budgets have ballooned, with the cause apparent to anyone: poor quality resulting from the promotion of evil woke ideology and identity politics. Yeah, pretty much, I suppose. Everything costs $200 million these days, doesn't it? Why? Why is everything? It's the effects houses, they're charging too much, probably. All it's money laundering. While Marvel Studios and Disney executives claim diversity is their strength and they will double down on the woke ideology at every turn, the company is fleeing a summer release for their Captain Marvel sequel, The Marvels. The company announced via Twitter that the film would move from its previously scheduled release date of July 28th to November 10th, 2023. They tweeted, higher, further, faster, together. I think that WWE. Check out the brand new teaser poster for Marvel Studios' The Marvels, coming to theatres November 10th. And here's the poster, there's the tweet, here's the poster. Something actually points out, if you look at the star that she's in there, Carol Danvers, and I forgot her name. Is it not Monica Rambeau? It's Monica Rambeau's daughter, isn't it? But I can't remember the character's name in there. It looks like a female area, apparently. I wouldn't know, being innocent of such things. Obviously, it's a representation of their symbols, isn't it, that they've got on the on the uniforms. Isn't it? That's the star that she's got there, and that's the I don't know, it's a flame or whatever, isn't it? And she's standing on Ms. Marvel is standing on an S. So that's all that is. But it once you see it, the meme goes, you can't unsee it. Anyway, the film was originally slated to release on November 11th, 2022, with Marvel announcing that release date back in May 2021. The company tweeted, "Take to the stars with Marvel Studios, The Marvels, hitting theatres in November 2022. Oh, that's last year. Sorry, I'm confused then for a minute. I don't know what year it is now. Yeah. So it's been put back, time after time. Oh, yeah, there you go. There's the original tweet. So it's going to be a year delayed a whole year, isn't it, from the outset. However, the film would be moved to July 28th during Disney's D23 Expo 2022. An official Marvel.com blog post summarizing the film's presentation at the event stated fans were also given a special look at scenes from the new movie, which opens in theaters on July 28th, 2023. And there's another picture of what's her name now? I can't remember her name. It's something Rambo, isn't it? I can't remember. She was in WandaVision, and she became a superhero somehow. I don't know how. And got all these powers when she walked through, the magical barrier that Wanda had created, and then let Wanda escape, get away scot-free, turn into an evil, reality bending, megalomaniac, and just let her get away with it. They'll never know what they did for you, what you did for them. I mean, well, what she did for them was she held the whole town hostage and probably several starved to death. Women, children, adults, kids, men, whatever, animals probably as well. All held prisoner because she lost her adult toy. This move comes after Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige recently attempted to hype up the film by claiming that Kamala Khan actually steals the show. Feige told Entertainment Weekly EW, "I'm very proud of the Ms. Marvel show." I didn't mind it. It wasn't perfect, but I didn't mind it. Of all the Marvel shows, apart from WandaVision, because I'm a simp for Elizabeth Olsen, I just think she's like perfection. But of all the Marvel shows, apart from WandaVision, it was probably my favourite, to be honest, because it was fun. I enjoyed it. But anyway, I also know, and this is a spoiler, she essentially steals the Marvels, which is coming out July 28th. And then she is in her homemade, cosplay thing that she did in the series. The series explains it. It's not, it's not stupid. Really. Not only did he try to hype the film by promoting Ms. Marvel, he also revealed the Ms. Marvel show is not doing well on Disney. Well, it is it? Well, none of them are, have they? Let's face it. I did a story, didn't I? Yesterday, the day before, that for 2022, not a single one of the Disney Plus shows made it into the top 15 streaming shows for original content. I think overall, a couple did. Encanto, Bluey, which apparently is an Australian series, which I've never heard of, and one other, but I can't remember. But for original content, not one Disney Plus show made it into the top 15 for 2022. He stated, "It makes me excited that people will, I hope, see that movie and then go back and revisit those shows on Disney Plus. The fun thing about streaming is they are there forever." Not necessarily. They can always take them away if they want to, and people can keep re-exploring them. As for what the film is about, Feige told EW, there are fun cosmic elements to it. Marvel comic fans will recognise elements of the Kree-Skrull War, and it's picking up directly after the end of Captain Marvel 1. Not in timeline, but in story. We also, by the way, I tried watching Captain Marvel again a while ago, a few months ago, because I'd seen it once before, and I thought, whatever, I didn't hate it or even like it. It was just there, and I tried watching it again, and I lasted about 5 minutes. I couldn't cope with it. I turned it off. It was doing me head in. But also do that in our upcoming Disney Plus series, Secret Invasion, and those are two very different follow-ups to that movie. I thought Secret Invasion was a film. Oh, shows how much attention I'm paying, doesn't it? Tonally, they couldn't be more different, Feige said. There's something immensely powerful about seeing Monica and Kamala. Oh, it is Monica Rambeau. Oh, who's her mother then? Whatever. Monica and Kamala and Carol together in a frame. To me, it's only akin to the first Avengers movie and seeing the six of them together in a frame. He doesn't know what he's talking about, does he? Kevin Feige, since he got like full control of Marvel, he's lost it. He has. Like I say, originally, in the heyday of Marvel, the MCU, he was like reined in a little bit by somebody. I've forgotten his name now. But he wasn't in total control, was he? So there were people around that could basically tell him no. A bit like what George Lucas needed in the prequel trilogy. But since then, he's just talking out of his ass. Anyway. It's chill-inducing. They're so great together, and they all have different histories with one another. So 3 actors. Admittedly, one of them's an Oscar winner in Brie Larson, but those 3 together is like seeing Chris Hemsworth, Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson. Who else? Chris Evans. Don't care about Mark Ruffalo, and nobody really does they? And the others, it's like seeing all them, is it? Yeah, I don't think so. Chill-inducing. What a knob. The great thing about Kamala in her own show, and now in this movie, is that she's not unlike Tom Holland's Peter Parker in Civil War. She can't believe she's with these other heroes. Can't believe that she finds herself in these places. And that's fun, because we want to be that. I want to be that, he concluded. We haven't done yet. This release date move also comes after Disney CEO Bob Iger, the returning Disney CEO Bob Iger, indicated the company needed to do a better job. So he went all Falcon, did he? Sorry, Captain America. We need to do better, Senator, at curating its content, specifically naming Marvel and Star Wars, indicating he might actually be aware that the production studio's quality has significantly declined. Well, the writing has gone to pot. The effects are amazing. They're too reliant on the volume, which is everywhere now. It's just people standing in front of blue screens. I mean, this goes back over 20 years, doesn't it? The prequel trilogy, the Star Wars prequel trilogy. Actors were moaning that they were standing in front of green screens. Sorry, I'm old. I still say blue screens. Actors were standing in front of green screens. There's nothing to react to apart from like a tennis ball on a pole or whatever. So it's not a new thing, but you'd have thought that they've worked it out. Iger stated, additionally, we are going to lean more into our franchises, our core franchises, and our brands. I talked about curation in general entertainment. We have to be better at curating the Disney and the Pixar. It's another studio that's gone to hell. And the Marvel and the Star Wars of it all. He went on to reveal the company would also be significantly cutting its costs. And of course, that's my dryer's just finished. Reduce costs on everything that we make. While we are extremely proud of what's on the screen, it's gotten to a point where it's gotten, that word, when you've gotten past the tractor bee or whatever, I don't know, energy shield. It's gotten to a point where it's extraordinarily expensive. We want all the quality. We want the quality on screen, but we have to look at what they cost us. But why is it so expensive? I don't understand. You don't have to spend $200 million on a film. Why? Why are you spending all that money? 5 films, there are $1 billion there. I don't understand why it costs so much. I know the big ambitious movies with ambitious, stories and worlds that they're creating, but there are good films made for 1/100th of that amount. They're like films that are being made for like say $5 million. They're really good. Don't ask me to name any, but they are. While Iger indicated they are going to try and cut costs, film critic Tom Connors, host of Midnight's Edge YouTube channel, speculated the reason for the change in release date could be reshoots. There's his tweet. I smell reshoots. Well, yeah, probably. Reshoots as opposed to pickups. Every film, has pickups where the film like little additional scenes or little like shots where they might show them pressing a button. So it'll be some stand-in's button, hand pressing a button. They'll stick them in the costume or whatever and do stuff like that, or whatever. But these could be wholesale reshoots where they're drastically changing the movie, adding new scenes, taking scenes out and replacing them with other things, stuff like that. Interestingly, the move away from July 28th could be Disney fears that the Marvels won't be able to compete with Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer and the Barbie movie. I think the Barbie movie is going to make a lot of money. Not from me, I couldn't give a monkeys, but and to be honest, I'm not that bothered about Oppenheimer. I'm not a huge Christopher Nolan fan. I respect him, but I'm not a fan of his films for the most part. Some of them, I do like, but I don't know. I find him pretentious. But anyway, which both come out on July 21st. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem also arrives on August 4th. Disney didn't completely abandon the date. They did move Haunted Mansion to July 28th, which seemingly indicates it has more to do with the quality of the Marvels than the competition. I'm going to have to just... Oh, no, never mind. I'm going to have to go to see to the dryer. But it'll start again in a minute. Make sure stuff's dry. The film will still face stiff competition in November. Dune Part 2 arrives on November 3rd. I'm looking forward to that. I enjoyed the first one. I still prefer David Lynch's version. Honestly, I do. I love that film. I can't explain why. I know it's got flaws and stuff, but I just love it. And The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes debuts on November 17th. I've seen the first Hunger Games film. It was all right. I've never got around to watching the rest. What do you make of Marvel and moving the Marvels to November? As I said, yes, probably reshoots. I agree with Tom. Not that I'm an expert or anything, but yeah, it's probably reshoots. They're making some changes. Right, let's move on to the next story. We're going back to Star Wars now. Are we still going? Let's have a look. Just got to double check because I'm not sure about this stuff. Yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are. Huzzah! I bet no bugger's watching though. Are you? I bet you're not. Where were we? Here we go. Star Wars The Bad Batch is finally fixing its biggest problem. Star Wars The Bad Batch is fixing its biggest Clone Force 99 problem, which will finally allow the show to reach its true potential in Season 2. This is on Screen Rant. Of course it is. Screen Rants everywhere. And there they are. That's Echo. There's Omega, however you want to pronounce it. I don't know what that is. I don't know. When they've got their helmets on, they all look the same to me. Star Wars The Bad Batch. By the way, spoilers. Star Wars The Bad Batch has had a recurring problem throughout its run, but it seems the show is finally fixing it. While it's all... By the way, I've not read this article. While it's always been a loyal follow-up, as I've said before... See, dryer's going again now. As I've said before, if the headline piques my interest, I'll read the rest of the article. So that's all I've done. I just found five headlines that have piqued my interest. So we're going with it. While it's also noises from upstairs, I think my son's up to something. While it's always been a loyal follow-up to Star Wars: The Clone Wars, in many ways the Bad Batch only works as a sequel to its predecessor, with the show being more interesting when it doesn't focus on Clone Force 99. Yeah, the best episodes have been with Captain Rex and Crosshair. These issues are a symptom of the show's core struggle, holding it back from reaching its full potential. However, The Bad Batch Season 2 has acknowledged this problem and provided the means to tell an even better story. Although The Bad Batch made Echo important in Season 2, Episode 8, Truth and Consequences, it seemed that the show was creating a new problem by having him leave Clone Force 99. Echo were a character, they were from the Clone Wars. I think it was from the 501st. Clone regiment, whatever they call them. But it was captured by somebody. I think separatists. I can't actually remember, and altered. Technology and stuff. They tried to turn him into a baddie, but he was turned back to the good side. But he's still got cybernetic things in. And he joined Clone Force 99 at the end of Season 1. Anyway, this didn't turn out to be the case, as the following episode, The Crossing, had some of the show's most compelling moments to date, all stemming from Echo's departure. He left the episode previously. He went to help Captain Rex try and save clones. The Empire basically is phasing out clones now and starting the Stormtrooper program. These scenes brought more attention to the Bad Batch's weakest link, but they also demonstrated how Clone Force 99 can grow throughout the rest of Season 2, allowing them to truly be the best part of their own show. Well, there they are. There they are. So what we've got here, I don't know what that is. That's Hunter. That's Crosshair. That's Wrecker. And that's Tech. I don't know what that is. Never mind. The biggest Clone Force 99 problem in the Bad Batch is that it's hard to connect them on an emotional level. The Star Wars franchise has always had fun lightsaber duels, cool ship designs, and epic battles. I do like the Marauder, the Clone Force 99 ship. It's a cool shape. It looks badass. And epic battles. While these are icing on the cake, it's the characters that generate investment, and seeing how they grow and develop over time creates a story. This is where the Bad Batch tends to struggle, focusing more on missions and galaxy-shaping plot lines over substantial character development. One exception to this problem has been Omega, however you want to pronounce it, Omega. I say Omega because I'm from Yorkshire. A child seeing the galaxy for the first time and maturing emotionally because of it. She's the one who brings the Bad Batch out of their shells, with Hunter having to be a father figure and Wrecker acting as a supportive big brother. Even so, these dynamics have never developed as much as they could have, and while each member of Clone Force 99 has had strong emotional moments with Omega, they don't have very many with each other. However, the Bad Batch Season 2 suggests that this is going to change for Clone Force 99 going forward. And there's Omega with a laser bow and arrow. Don't understand. The Bad Batch has begun to fix its biggest problem by making Clone Force 99 feel more like a family, and there's room for them to keep growing in Season 2. Omega shares her frustrations with Tech, a moment that allows both characters to help the other grow. Tech has seen some of the least character development, but that began to change when he acknowledged to Omega that while he processes change differently, it does not mean I feel any less than you. More moments like this need to happen in the Bad Batch Season 2 because they highlight what the members of Clone Force 99 are going through behind their rough soldier exteriors. I mean, that to me, being the father of an autistic son, it showed that Tech, was on the spectrum. That's what it suggested to me, anyway. Tech also points out that change is a fundamental part of life, which kind of contradicts what I've just said, because as a rule, autistic people don't like change. But despite all they've been through, Clone Force 99 hasn't changed a great deal. Omega challenges Tech to see themselves as a family, not just a squad, and this is a fantastic development for the show. The Bad Batch are at a low point after the tragic impact of stormtroopers on the clones, but they're also beginning to grow into a better family, not just the unit they were created to be. Connecting with Clone Force 99 has been Star Wars The Bad Batch's biggest problem, but now it has the potential to become the show's greatest strength. So there we go. So yeah, let's say last episode, we're okay, but it ended on a cliffhanger. Spoilers: the Marauder was stolen because they're idiots and they left it with the keys in, and somebody came along and stole it. So they're stranded on this a hostile planet, and Omega's struggling over the Echo leaving. I don't know why. I haven't been with him 2 minutes, but she must have grown fond of him. But there you go. So that's that. Right, moving on. Doctor Who next. Doctor Who exclusive. This is from the Daily Mail. So there's going to be adverts all over the place on this. Doctor Who exclusive. Anita Dobson lets slip the name of her mystery character and what role entails while gushing over gorgeous lead Ncuti Gatwa and his companion Millie Gibson. Anita Dobson, famous in the UK for playing Angie Watts in the soap opera EastEnders, but she's also famous for being married to Queen guitarist Brian May. For some reason, they kind of look identical. There you go. Anita Dobson has let slip the name of her Doctor Who character and what her role will entail while speaking exclusively with Mail Online. Shall I make that a bit bigger? Nope, hang on, press the wrong button. Yeah, we'll make that a bit bigger for you. Hey, too far. Too big. There we go. It was announced the actress 73 would be joining the BBC drama in an unnamed part last month. However, she's now spilled the beans on the exciting new project. While attending the Icon Awards in support of prostate cancer charity on Friday night, she gushed about playing Mrs. Flood, the elderly neighbour to companion Ruby Sunday, played by Millie Gibson. The former EastEnders star brushed off talk of playing a lead part in the show, admitting, "I wouldn't say starring, I think the Lord himself, Ncuti and Millie, are the ones starring." I think she means the Time Lord. Time Lord himself, Ncuti. I'm merely joining the ranks of, well, Mrs. Flood is the character I play, and she's Millie, the Ruby Sunday, the doctor's assistant. She's her neighbour. So she's the neighbour of the thing.
Splotches it backyard.
All right, okay. Apologies, my son's just arrived.
Yeah, I'm not interrupting you.
Yes, you are. There you go.
Oh, it was hard to push it out.
Well, the world doesn't need to know that, Aidan.
Sorry.
Okay. There's Anita Dobson. There she is. She lives in the same street, so she's always got her eyes on what's going on. She's one of those. What's it like? But despite being 3 days into a new job, Anita said she's yet to film scenes with the gorgeous 15th Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa. She said, "I haven't worked with Ncuti yet. I've got..." Sorry, I've got giggles now. He's giving me the giggles. "I've done the read-through with him, and he's gorgeous. He's absolutely adorable and very talented. Millie, I adore. I think she's absolutely stunning. But I've only done about 3 days, so very early days. Having watched the cult drama as a little girl, the Stepney native said it was a no-brainer to say yes when writer Russell T Davies offered her the part. To be honest, I'm surprised she hasn't been in it already. She concluded, he asked me to join the ranks and he said, please come and play with us. How can you resist that? Anita was pictured filming scenes for Doctor Who in Bristol on Tuesday with Millie. Oh, that's a link, so you can follow that link if you want to. The pair were seen filming in the residential area of Clifton, which was decked out with colourful Christmas decorations as they appeared to be filming for a festive episode. Clifton's part of Bristol. I presume it's where the Clifton Suspension Bridge is. Speaking of Bristol and Clifton, one of my favourite TV shows, I think it's called the Clifton House Mystery. Have I got that right? But it's a ghost story that was made in the I think the 70s. I can't remember now. But it's really good. It's available on DVD. It might be on YouTube if you can dig it out. It's absolutely terrifying in places, but it was made for kids. There she is, looking a bit vinegar faced. in a plaid skirt. It went off then for a minute. What's going on? She kept her essentials in a brown handbag, blah, 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 but don't need all this, do we? No, the iconic. Oh, I hope it's up. I hope you're not seeing that. Keeps going off. Right, so there we go. Shrink that down. Still going. Am I still going? Let's just check. It says I am. So, right, so we'll carry on. Right, Star Trek Picard explains major changes to Captain Shaw's new USS Titan. The first episode of Star Trek Picard's third season. Have I made that too small now? I have this. I want to be about that, though. The first episode of Star Trek Picard's third season introduces not just a new captain for the USS Titan in the form of Todd Stashwick's Liam Shaw, but a new look for the ship itself. And there he is. That's Todd Stashwick as Captain Liam Shaw. If you only know Star Trek through its movies and TV shows, then the USS Titan might not seem like a big deal. After all, the ship only first appeared in the finale of Lower Decks Season 1, not even 3 years ago. Didn't see it because I hate Lower Decks. Despite being referenced all the way back in 2002 Star Trek Nemesis. Yes, it was. It appeared on, well, Riker were leaving to become captain of the Titan, and it were also shown on a display, along with the USS Archer and some other ships. But to fans of the expanded universe of books and comics that stretches beyond the big and small screens, the Titan has a long and illustrious history under the command of Captain William T. Riker. In fact, 15 novels have been published in the Star Trek Titan franchise, chronicling the adventures of Captain Riker, his wife, Counselor Troy. Technically, he is Captain Troy now, but they mustn't be following the Betazoid tradition of taking the woman's surname. But anyway, they're just keeping the names. Captain Riker, his wife, Counselor Troy, and the crew of their Lunar class ship. I always get them mixed up. I keep thinking it's Nova class, but it's Lunar class. If you're one of those trekkers, you may have been a bit thrown off when the season 3 premiere of Star Trek Picard introduced the USS Titan A, a Neo Constitution class ship under the command of Captain Liam Shaw, Todd Stashwick. Not only did Captain Shaw do the unthinkable and rid the ship's computer of all traces of Riker's beloved jazz collection, but the ship looks markedly different from its previous incarnation. So they're classing it as a refit. Riker says in it, it's a refit of the Titan. But it's a completely new class and a completely new, shape, a new superstructure. I don't know. So is it just classed as refit because they've kept the computer core, with all the data, which is why Riker's jazz was still in it? I don't know, because it's completely different. I think it's bigger than the Lunar class for a start. Anyway, let's carry on. Where were we? The biggest change for the refitted Neo Constitution class starship is, of course, the retro vibe, with a redesign that brings back the classic saucer look of the original series vessels. Yeah, as I say, it does actually look like a motion picture Star Trek 2 era starship, apart from the the blue on the nacelles and the orange of the Bussard collectors. But apart from that, it's got a very retro vibe. I missed a proper saucer section on the top part of a starship, and I couldn't help but notice how many cars have gone retro these days. And I remember as I was driving around, I thought, what if Starfleet did that? Picard showrunner Terry Metalis explained to Variety. I saw this incredible starship designed by digital artist Bill Krause called the USS Shangri-La. I think I covered this in a video quite recently, the USS Shangri-La, which was a Star Trek motion picture era class ship. I did a Star Trek, news special thing last week sometime, which was a Star Trek motion picture era class ship with half a saucer on top, excuse me, had an Excelsior-inspired Next Generation curve on the bottom, which I thought was really interesting. I said to production designer Dave Blass, I think the Titan should feel something like this. And essentially, the Titan looks exactly the same as the Shangri-La. Does more or less. Does more. Let's tell you. Let's get some images up. USS Shangri-La. Go to images. No, not the not the aircraft carrier. Star Trek. Where's Shangri-La? There you go. I'll open that in a new tab. Open link in new tab. There we go. No, not link. Image, silly boy. There we go. Open image in new tab. And then we'll go USS Titan. Titan A, sorry. Not the Lunar class, the new one, the Constitution, because we're going to get a good image of it. No, they're not showing us, are they? The buggers. So we'll have to just make do. Yeah, we'll use that one, and we'll open that image in a new tab, and then we'll get rid of that, and then we'll look at that. So that's the Shangri-La. As you can see, it's got similar sources cut away there. I don't like that. But as you can see, it's got TMP, motion picture era, nacelles, and that's it. It looks very much like the USS Titan that we get now, which is that. But obviously, it's not the best. Not the best view of it, is it? But you can see there the sources section's cut away. It's got new 25th century nacelles, and I don't like that. It looks cool from the side. The profile from the side is gorgeous, but from the front, that looks too square to me. They should have rounded that off, in my opinion. But it's still, a decent ship. And I think it's supposed to be about the same size, as Kirk's Constitution class ship. But I think the Nova class were quite a bit smaller. But anyway, where were we? For Blast, this revision was no small decision. I think the starships in Star Trek, the Star Trek universe, are as heroic as the captains who sat in those seats. Well, yeah, the characters unto themselves are the ships. A lot of people watch it for the ships. I'm one of them. There's a YouTube channel devoted to it. Trek Yards, go and check them out. So when we were bringing the production crew together, I wanted to bring the best designers from all of Star Trek together on one project. Indeed, he did so by recruiting folks who worked on the Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, two of the best entries during Trek's 90s heyday. We got the Okudas back, Denise and Michael Okuda, and people like Doug Drexler and people like that. They got them back to work on it. With these folks on board, Blast could help design a ship that matched the theme of Picard's third season, which sees the respected Admiral reunited with most of his bridge crew from Enterprises D&E, including Worf, as my mum called him, LaForge, and Dr. Crusher, who we saw in episode 1. But more than a nostalgia trip, the third season promises to continue moving forward toward the future of both the characters and Starfleet itself. Why don't they mention others? So we also see Deanna Troi again, and obviously we see Riker and who else? We don't see Wesley, I don't think. Wesley's in it. Thank God. He's sodded off, hasn't he, with Isa Briones doing his traveller thing. I don't mind him becoming a traveller because we saw him disappear with the traveller, didn't we, in season 7 of Next Generation? Although he did reappear in Nemesis. I think you can just see him. He did have a scene that were cut at the Riker and Troy's wedding on the Enterprise E. And he'd have a speaking role, I think. But that were cut. But I think you can still see him like slightly in the background, probably out of focus. Dryer going again. But so I don't know why he came back. But he started off with the Traveller, didn't he, doing that stuff. But in Picard season 2, they made him in charge of the I forgot what they call him, like Gary Seven like the watchers. No, they're not called that. Called something else. Supervisors. That's it. He made him in charge of them, didn't he? The Travellers were doing that. The Gary 7 people and Laris, even though it wasn't Laris, she was given another name. Them. What was really important to me was that we were bringing the next generation characters back, and I wanted to make sure that my sets and my designs did not feel out of place in the next generation world, Blast said. The consoles and stuff look cool, but I don't like the floors. The floors are too shiny. And that next gen were famous for its carpeted floors. Everybody was saying the Enterprise D looked like a hotel, didn't it? Which I suppose it was, because there were families on board, weren't there? It changed with the Enterprise E. That were made to look a bit more austere and military, because there were no families on the Enterprise E, were there? But the D were a big exploration vessel that could essentially go out, explore, be cut off from anybody, be self-sufficient. And it had to be comfortable for people, because they had the families with them. Where were we? If we were going to have our characters look and act the way they are, then our sets needed to evolve in such a way that it looked and felt like an extension of what had been done in the past, while also looking forward at the same time. To that end, Blass and his team made not only a larger ship than those we're used to seeing, but also, I forgot where I was now. Where am I? Where was I? I've lost my place. I'll start again. If we're going to have our characters look and act the way they are, then our sets need to evolve in such a way that it looked and felt like an extension of what had been done in the past, while also looking forward at the same time. To that end, Blass and his team made not only a larger ship than those we're used to seeing, I think that's where I were up to, wasn't I? Good heavens. But also combined new sounds with those of classic ships of the past. You would have a blend, Matalas said. So even though visually you're seeing Dave's sets, the sounds are evoking all of those feelings that should be in your DNA if you love the older shows. I think DNA is important to Picard season 3. If you watch me, I did a video yesterday about the end credits scene. DNA is highly represented there. With this approach, the Titan A is sure to impress whether you first encountered its predecessor a few years ago or you've been reading about its adventures for years. I'm hoping they carry on and maybe a new series of Star Trek will focus on the Titan. We'll see. They could call it Star Trek Titan, couldn't they? You know, continuing the legacy of naming the series after the ships. Although Next Generation didn't, did it? But never mind. But all the others seem to. Right, is that it? Right, we'll leave it there. So I'll go back to there. There we go. Back full screen again. My ugly mug. I meant to put my video in. How do I put a video in? I don't know. I've no idea. Did it? Video clips. Here we go. Add a video clip. Right. I know what I'm doing, you know. I do. I know what I'm doing. There, we'll put that in. There we go. Anyway, right, we're going to leave it there. Hope you like that background. That's kind of funky, isn't it? That's on YouTube. So we're going to leave it there. So thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with me for 48 minutes. I don't know if anybody's watched. As I said, this StreamYards thing, I'm still uncertain about it. As you can see from the, there it is, that logo up there. Oh, that hand. No, that hand. Yeah, that one. There. Because that's there. Obviously, I'm using the free one. I'm not paying 20 quid a month for it. That's a lot of money, isn't it? £5 a week. Same for the Streamlabs one. I'm not paying 20 quid a month for that. Can't afford it. Right. So thanks for watching. Wherever you are in the universe, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say